let's make a start. Thank you for everyone for coming. We're going to be 25-30 minutes, so we're not going to take a lot of your day, okay? Last year we had a couple of words that for those of you who were part of the squad, I used them a lot: attitude and endeavour. I firmly believe that you can take any team that has strong attitude and an work hard attitude and a reasonable level of endeavour and turn them into a game-winning team. They don't need to be the most talented players. 15 guys that want to work hard will beat 15 guys who don't have that work ethic every day. This year we're going to add another word to that: honesty. What's important? Last year was a rebuilding year for our national team. Everyone understood that we had some challenges in previous years, and it was about bringing the fun back to playing and bringing the pride back to playing. So we talked about attitude and endeavour. This year we're talking about honesty, because this year I honestly think we can comfortably win all 3 games and roll something different. If guys are injured, then they can still turn up at training. They can do something. If you're a hooker and you're injured, you can throw balls into the line out. You have 10 line-outs. If you can't run, you can do some ball work. You know, if you're carrying a shoulder, you can do some kicking. So there's always something we can do. All the pieces need to be in place. We haven't got the depth that a lot of other countries have. We can't do it if we don't have a front row training, or we can't practice line-outs because the hooker's not there, or we can't do this, or we can't do that. So as players, and some of you guys are senior players, you have to draw everyone in to commit into that Wednesday session. With the team we have on paper, I'm blown away if we don't win 3 games. But you don't win rugby games on paper, right, guys? It's about hard work and effort and what you put on the field. There's 2 other words I've introduced here: mistake or error. I want you to just think about these. I'm never going to criticize you for making a mistake. There's a difference in these words. A mistake is I've dropped a pass, I've fluffed a kick, I've knocked it on, I've done something silly. An error is something a little bit different. An error is something where you need your team to do away points. Either you're offside at a breakdown, which is my pet hate that everyone knows. You're on the halfway line and you just give them 3 points. So, 35 metres out, you give them 3 points because instead of being behind the back feet, you decided to use the this time. They've got 35, 40 metres to go. They're never going to break this time. And yet you've just either given them territory or you've given them 3 easy points. And what we were big on last year, we said we want our penalty count to be under 10 in every game. And I think we did really well last year. I want to raise that bar a bit higher for us this year. Our game plan isn't about necessarily playing the fanciest of rugby. It's about grinding down the other team. It's about keeping hold of possession so that the tackles they put in the first 20 to 30 minutes pay off because they're absolutely knackered in the last 20 to 30 minutes. So we've got games against the Cayman Selects penciled in May. So the 5th, the 12th, and the 26th. They are already there. They're going to be our only 3 warm-up games. Then we go in and we play Bermuda on June the 2nd. Probably the easiest game for us. Then we play Trinidad on the 23rd at home again. Unknown quantity. We've watched them a little bit. They play 7s rugby with 15 players. So you're looking at the second row and he looks like the centre. Or you're looking like the winger and he looks like number 8. You just don't know what. They haven't got necessarily structure and shape to their game, but they've got 15 athletes on the field. So for us, what's really important is we play the exact opposite of them. We play a lot of structure, a lot of territory, put pressure on their lineouts and scrums. Keep hold of the ball for many, many phases, note some penalties, and Robbie kicks the points or whatever needs to be done. So for us, we can't play the same as your Jamaicas or your Trinidad's or anyone else. Every game we'll approach with a game pattern, which we'll go through shortly, but every game pattern pattern will have a nuance, a slight nuance about what we're trying to do. For example, against Bermuda, we probably want to move the ball wide a lot. You know, they've got slow, older forwards that will move around the park a little bit, and our backs took advantage of them in the first half last year and pulled them apart. You don't want to do that necessarily against Trinidad, because if you turn over the ball you get, it's going to be, you know, a couple of quick passes and a bit of setting rugby. So we will surprise people, we will play differently, but our core game pattern won't change enough. We'll just, the number of kicks we put in versus the number of passes will change, but our game pattern will stay the same. So, spend 5 minutes talking there. The most important thing to remember about our game pattern is built around continuity. So, 8, 9, 10 phases, happy days. Don't think to yourself we failed because we've gone through those phases. Occasionally, we break somebody down in the first or second phase and make some good ground, which is fantastic. But we are expected to have to go through multiple phases to keep the ball. What are we trying to do? Either break them down, get a mismatch in midfield where the back's up against two front row forwards, or we're trying to milk a penalty where we put the ball in the touch and start again. So it's a very old-fashioned way of playing, if you like, where what we're trying to do is build pressure and territory and keep hold of the ball. When we do that, it's much easier for us to play. We aren't going to defend as hard, we aren't going to work as hard, and it pays off, especially because we're not professional athletes. It pays off when you play this international game for 80 minutes. For those of you who haven't played it before, it is a different level of intensity. The scrums are, the guys tell me that the heads are buzzing when they come out of the scrums from the pressure, the tackles are harder, the line speed is quicker, everything's just that little bit quicker, and you have to work a little bit harder. It's nothing like AA Cup. Stuff you get away with here, you won't get away with. It's as simple as that. So what we try and do is reduce the number of errors that give them points, and individually you take responsibility for your mistakes. If you drop the ball, don't drop the next one. No one's going to shout at you. But if you make an error, and then you make that same error again, CK is going to be after you. That's 6 points you just given away. So very quickly, I'm not the best artist in the world, but the green, if you can see them, are our forwards, and the brown are our backs. What I'm going to do is I'm going to rub out the browns a bit just to make it a little bit easier, and then we'll talk through the greens. What we do is we split our forwards up into
real game plan there, Gary.
This is the real game plan.
Hey, man, over.
We split the forwards up. The numbers are irrelevant at the moment, but let's just start. I'll just talk about what you notice about this game plan to start with. So first of all, we've got a hooker over by the touchline. That doesn't have to be the hooker. That can be any front row forward. What happens in the game? We start with a hooker, and after 5-10 minutes, we'll move one of the fat boys out over to the side. They can have a bit of a breather. The hooker comes into a diamond. So the whole idea is these 5 individuals, or at least 3 of them, the front row, can take it in turns to move to the sideline. They're there to 2 reasons. One, if the winger goes down, they're there to recycle and go over that rack, or offer an option as an offload. Okay. The second thing you'll notice is that we've done the same over here. We've moved one of the back row players over to the sideline. Okay. And then we have 2 floaters, again back row. Now, they're supposed to split this field in half. And basically, this guy works between the middle of the field and the 5-meter line, and this guy works between the middle of the field and the 5-meter line. So that we don't ask these guys to make an effort to hit the ruck here. It's just if they do it properly, they are absolutely busting a gut, moving back and forth. They're there for a number of reasons. If somebody drops the ball, they're there to go in and hit the rack. They're there to replace somebody. So if somebody's on the floor in a previous play, they have to move in and become part of this diamond. Okay? So that's important. They're not just there to stand out in the backs in between the centres. They've got to do some of the donkey work. They've got to make sure they're there hitting the diamond when we need it. And the diamond is there, as we know, 4 guys. Head of the diamond gets the ball some of the time. No reason why they can't offload and put it inside or outside. But they're there for game line. So when they get the ball, if that ball goes to number 1, then it's a flat pass to number 1. We want that ball, we don't want it 10 yards back, and then someone comes up and closes down and hits them 5 meters before where the previous ruck was. We want that ball on the game line. They're going to get the ball, they're going to use their feet and try and avoid the first tackler, and then just set another target. The object of these guys is to run into the 10-12 channel. Simple as that. Take out their first line defense. Take out their number 10. Imagine the number 10 having to tackle, one of the big lads 5-6 times in the first 10 minutes. It's going to put them off their game a little bit. It's something they're not going to enjoy, that's for sure. I know Morgs, you probably wouldn't fancy that too much. And, again, we're trying to build territory and build possession. We don't expect these guys to run 30, 40 meters and score. If they do, fantastic. But what we expect is that we take out the first line of defense. That allows us then to run against an unstructured defense. They've lost 10 and 12, so they're going to have 13, 15, 11, and some forwards dotted around in there that we can really target and go after. Okay? Now, any questions before I move on about the forwards? Remember I said the numbers don't really matter too much. As long as we have somebody here, somebody there, 4 in the diamond and 2 floaters, on the field we can rotate as people get tired, or we can, if somebody's a really good ball carrier and they just so happen to be wearing number 8, we'll stick them in the top of the diamond. It doesn't matter. We'll move one of our second rows into the floater position. So the numbers are irrelevant. The point is we're trying to put the best people in the best positions. It's handy if this guy's pretty quick, and it's handy if this guy's pretty quick. Because if the winger goes on a run, we want the ability to keep up with it. We don't want our tight end prop being here, sort of 30 yards behind play. So any questions about the sort of diamond or the floaters or the guys that move to the side? No? The other rule we have, if you go in this 5-meter channel, you better score. Because what we want to do is we want to aim for continuity, right? And if you get tackled into touch, you just give them the ball and then you have another line out. So unless you're going to score a try in the corner, then we expect that anyone carrying the ball in the 5-meter channel to step in, set up another rack, off we go again. So this is what I talk about errors and mistakes. So if you've gone for that corner flag, and you've been tackled, but you've been tackled 15 meters out, that's an error. If you've been tackled on the try line, I might give you that as a genuine mistake. You tried, it didn't work, because we may have scored in the next phase, or the phase after that. So it's not all about you as an individual, it's about what the team has done to get to that point. You might have gone through 10, 15 phases to get to that point, and then someone's running for touch. That's going to be so frustrating, right? So the 5s are out of bounds, unless you can score. Any questions about forwards? No? I'm going to rub the forwards out in a minute. And now we're going to focus on our back line a second. So if we have a typical back line, nothing too fancy. If that's 9, you can count the rest. 10, 12, 13, 14, 11, 15. Everyone in the back line is interchangeable to a fashion. What I mean by that is 15 can stand in the centre as long as somebody drops back. We have a number of play moves that where the wingers come in, or 15 comes in, or everything else. So as the people come in, then someone has to drop. That's the way we play, right? The other thing to remember is that the diamond inserts themselves. If they insert themselves here, that's singles, because it's off 9, that's 1 pass. Doubles, it's off 10, triples, it's off 12. So if you hear our halfbacks calling triples, then the diamond is going to shift and come outside 12. Right? What does that mean? 9, 10, and 12 might be a little bit deeper, because what they want to do, they want to be able to give that nice flat pass to triples. And what they are doing when they're scanning, so if they're looking up at the other team and there's the open side flanker and he's standing just 1 pace off the back, let's put it out to triples. Let's make their backs make the tackles. Because again, this diamond is there for A, territory, B, recycling, and C then to create the mismatch. Practically, we can only do a diamond every 3 phases at the most. Right? So we do end up doing a phase, diamond, then it goes wide, then it comes back again, then we call another diamond. And every time we're edging up the field, you know, we take a lot of flat passes off 10 and 12, so the centers carry hard instead of the diamonds. And what we're trying to do again is make sure that we entice them to come offside to get territory and a penalty, and also get over that advantage line. That's the key thing for us, getting over that advantage line. We've got a strong scrum, we've got a strong line-out, so we shouldn't be afraid about taking those penalties, kicking to the corners, and using what we have. If there's 3 points on offer in front of the post, we take 3 points, and we build. So when we go into our game pattern, what's important, what we've been doing so far is just really singles, doubles, triples. We haven't really built continuity. What we need to do in practice is start building continuity. What do I mean by that? We have a line out, and we know that our move off the line out generally is a flat pass to somebody taking it on the crash. The guy standing at the back of the line out, normally the outside flanker, is going to be the first guy to turn and hit that ruck, along with 1 or 2 other guys, normally the blindside wing, and maybe the inside centre. And then we're coming round the corner with our forwards taking short balls off the singles. Right? That's one phase. What we've got to be able to know is what happens next phase, next phase, next phase. And they're only, when I say, you know, I don't want this to sound like descriptive here. What it is, it's a planned move. And if the move isn't on, we don't do it. And if someone else has done a bit of magic that meant that they've broken through, happy days, we would stay with that. But if we know mentally, if we've got a line-up on the 22, we know that it's going to go back and it's going to be a kick. If we've got a line-up on the halfway line, then we've got 3 or 4 phases that we can play that are scripted off that halfway line out. And if we're on the 22, we all know what we're going to do, then it makes it so much easier for our decision makers on the day. So our decision makers just have to reinforce what we're going to do, remind everyone, and then we go through the motions. If we can go to 5 or 6 phases against a disorganized team, we're going to break through. So that's all I'm asking us to do, is to script 4. If we can build on that and get to 5, fantastic. Because if we get to 6, we will break through. So we've been doing this game pattern now for, this will be our 3rd year, and it's very tough to defend. It's not the most exciting game patterns, but it's very tough to defend. And we've seen that we end up getting rewarded with a lot of ball. Jovan, anything you'd like to add?
I think just general play, Gar, what we would like with the 10 and 15. Just general play, guys. After your set piece work, you want to always ensure that 10 or 15, if you're not in the breakdown, you guys have split yourselves. So we have 2 running back lines in general play, if that makes sense to the back line guys and to the forwards too. And we want to try and create continuity on both sides, opportunities on both sides. You never know how our momentum will either change or become stagnant with our forward game plan. So we always want to have that availability and opportunities to play on both sides.
So there's what Joey's talking about there, is that we might have a situation where we just have 2 guys on one side and fully load the other, but there's still an option. If you've got 2 guys and 2 defenders, have a crack. You know? If we've loaded one side and they've got that covered, and they've put in 2 defenders here, normally the fullback will be here and maybe 1 guy there, that's on. You know, there's more chance of these 2 guys beating these 2 defenders than these guys beating these defenders. So that's why the communication from our fullbacks, Ian, Killian, very important. Don't be uncomfortable about standing in that first receiver position. And challenge them, make them tackle you. Run in between the defenders, draw them in, force them to make the tackle, or go for the line, one of the 2. The kicking game's going to be really important for us again this year, guys. So, you know, plenty of box kicks, plenty of territorial kicks. We shouldn't be scared of lineouts, especially if the other team's lineout. We've got some great guys who compete. And, you know, almost, we had a sort of, I wouldn't say a rule last year, but anything in the third, unless it was on, then we are going to look for territory. What we don't want to do is drop the ball here, make a mistake, give them a scrum 22 metres out in front of our posts. So, you know, we want to try and get the ball past the halfway line and play from there. Eliminate any mistakes that we can make, and then focus on sort of putting a bit of pressure on them. I think against Mexico, every up and under they dropped. So why would we do anything different other than put the ball in the air? It was a horrible day, it was pissing down the rain, and they couldn't take a clean catch. Now, on a fine day, that might not be the best game plan to keep their back three, but it worked. It worked for us.
Hey guys, just doing a quick voiceover. This is a defensive left-hand scrum. It's a simple man-on-man defense. Open side winger slightly drops, just in case for the territorial kick. That will quickly change if they do play hands. Flankers, be aware of your movements and also communication with the 9, whether he must commit to his player or whether he must shift one channel over. We then move to a right-hand scrum defense. Their wingers moved across. Our winger then drops for the territorial kick. Allows our 15 to then shift across beyond the poles towards the 15. Communicate. Flankers must be aware on the blind side, and 9 needs to be aware on the blind side defensively. And we have, this is when they are pressurized in their own half and they are looking to kick it out. We then drop all 3 back 3. Open side winger then also needs to make the decision of when he needs to move into the line if they do play hands. And then finally we go back to the left hand scrum, where their wingers moved across. Our winger still holds his ground for the pickup, and our scrum off still makes the decision whether to go one channel over or not.
Hi guys, just quickly want to talk over this clip too. This is a defensive clip. If you see in the middle the cross, that is the breakdown, and that is the depth of the defensive line. We want both sides of the pillars pushing hard and ensuring that they get themselves over the tackle line, over the advantage line. Please also ensure that both lines are pushing up regardless of which way the ball is moving, so that we can close from the inside.
So if the ball is travelling to the right hand side of the breakdown, the left hand side defensive line needs to push up and then move across to the right hand side to close that space. So just an important thing there, just make sure pillars around the breakdown are moving forward. Everyone is half a meter back behind the hindmost feet, and the line that is shown on either side of the breakdown has that banana shape defensive structure, so that all of us are working from the inside out.